Okay. Hi guys. Welcome to this episode of Entrepreneur Journey with Mo. Now today we're going to be talking about money. We all know that the fall and rise of any business is money. How we are able to manage the funds that we have and grow it. Now, before we go into talking about financial structures that work for a startup business, we're going to be talking about different kind of entrepreneurs that we have that we need to understand. Today we're going to be talking about the financial practices for startup that actually works and makes it successful. We all understand that the rise and fall of every business is financials. Now, I'm going to start with entrepreneurs, the kind of businesses that we have. We have different categories of entrepreneurs. We have people who do business because they are passionate about the business. And then we have people who do business because they just want to while away time, or they have other source of income. And then this particular business that you know that they are doing is just like maybe a cover-up, sort of. And then we also have businesses. We also have entrepreneurs who do businesses for the long-term purpose. So such entrepreneurs do not care about profit. They don't care about, at least at the first initial stage, they don't care about profit. They don't care about expenses. Sometimes they do not even maybe our financials, because they are just in there to make the name and then work to be an authority in the industry before they grow into bothering about investments and all of that. And then we have lastly we have entrepreneurs who are in the business for livelihood. They're doing the business because that is their source of livelihood. Now we have these four different kinds of businesses. So one of the things that make businesses fail is when we're always caught up in the middle of, okay, I want to copy this business. Mr. A is in the natural industry, or is in the plastic industry, or is in entertainment industry, or whatever industry. And then we'll be like, okay, this person is giving out discount, or this person has selling a product at a particular price, or rendering the services for free. And because you want to compete with the person, we also find ourselves doing the same thing. Now, like I said, a man or an entrepreneur who is doing his or her business for livelihood cannot have a financial or a business practice like the man who has a business for a long-term purpose, or is doing the business because he probably want to while away time, or using the business as a cover-up. Or you can also, the same person also cannot compare his or herself or his business practices with a man who is probably having a business, who is actually doing this business for the long-term purpose. So what do I mean by this? Now we usually have like a price war. Now Mr. A is selling turmeric powder or selling brown sugar for $5, or for 5,000 naira, or for 5,000, and then you just know you can't sell your product at that price. But because you want to go into the world, you don't know what he or she is doing. The beautiful thing about it is most times we don't even know why most entrepreneurs are in businesses, except you're close to them, or you're close to the business, or you know the business model, right? So whether you sell your product expensive or you sell it cheap, you render your business for free, your services for free, or you get paid for it, you would always have customers, you would always have clients. So do not be afraid to have your business brand. And that is where the defining your brand that we talked about the last episode actually comes in. When you know what your brand stands for, you would not get yourself too much involved into unhealthy competitions. So now back to finances. Now we have different ways. The financial part is actually very huge, and then as we go along, as the business grow, the capacity grow, the business volume or whatever, also capacity grows, the business dynamics and your approach and your practices actually change. But with this one we're talking about today, the steps we're going to be talking about today, or the key points we're going to be talking about today, is just for we startups, people who just started their business. And one of the few steps to consider, to actually consider, or one of the few steps to put into consideration to manage your finances right and not get things wrong, is the first thing is separate your personal expenses from your business expenses. And this also brings us back to the previous episode about documenting your business expenses, having all your business expenses documented. Now, most of we entrepreneurs actually get into this trap of, okay, I just made a sale, or I just made and I have some funds, and then you just feel like, okay, I have something to do, and then the next thing you want to take out the business money or your business funds to actually foot your bills or whatever. When you're starting your business that way, you're really not going to go far. That's the truth. It's actually a little bit challenging, especially when you are doing your business for a reason. The reason for starting a business is for livelihood. But look at it this way now: if you're giving birth to a child, you're giving it to your child, you do not expect the child to feed you. You have to feed the child, nurture the child. The child has to grow, start working, and all of that before the child can be sustainable. The child can actually sustain his or her own self without your help. But for the first few years, you have to help the child do everything. So that is how the business is. You have to nurture your business. You have to grow the business to the point where the business can actually foot your bills, pay you. I understand this totally. Like, you can't start your business today and then you expect it to start paying your bills immediately. Yeah, I understand. You're thinking about it. So businesses are like that. You can start paying yourself. Yes, fantastic. There's some businesses like that, but also the way for a startup business, when you make profit of your business in such a way that your business doesn't need so much to grow. You just need a little, maybe a week, 2 weeks, 1 month, and then you're growing. If you really want to grow your business, you want to invest back into the business. You don't want to start paying yourself yet. You don't want to start footing your bills yet out of your business. The next step is reconciling your bank account. This is the no-brainer. If you have a business account already with a bank, you have a business account, you want to make sure that you are looking at your accounts, or you're actually looking at your financials as often as you can. More like doing checks and balances, having your profit and loss balance sheets, having all that done. And then if you don't have a bank account, you can also go back to what your software, the accounting software you're using, or your book or your notepad. Just make sure that you are looking at it all the time. What are our expenses? What is coming in? What is the sale? Are we making as much sales as we were before? What's the difference in the sale? What did we sell last month? What did we sell last week? How much did we make? Why is this week different? Why have you sold less? This can also, you have to, it's more like you have to just keep checking back to back. It's like reality check on your business to know whether you're doing well or not. The third step is pay yourself. Now, I talked about it earlier. It's not every business. I understand you can say, oh, pay yourself and all that. It is not every business that can afford to pay yourself. I use the child as an example. You have to nurture a child. That's the same way you have to look at your business. You have to nurture your child. You have to wait for the child to grow to the point where the child can start taking care of you. So you have to be patient. But if you're using your business for a source of livelihood, then you have to be sure to make sure that your accounting is actually on point, whereby you can pay yourself. However, you also cannot pay yourself. I would say you can't pay yourself your what? You can't pay yourself the amount you ought to pay yourself to start with, so you can help the business grow. You can pay yourself a little or some, but make sure if you're using your business as a means of livelihood, then you have to pay yourself, so you are not tempted to use the business or model the whole money together, or you're using you're actually using the business or sales funds to foot your personal expenses. So you pay yourself the barest minimum and make sure you actually take the money out into a separate account and transfer it to your account, or you take out the cash and pay yourself, and then you live within your means. and not in the capacity of the business. The last and final step in this section is know when to give credit and discounts. Now, business and as a startup and an entrepreneur, one of the things that keep you going is your cash flow. You really do not want to play with it, or you really do not. No business survive without a frequent and a running functional cash flow. Now, you cannot afford to give out credit. Now, a lot of businesses, big businesses, or the bigger players can afford to give out credit in millions or whatever amount. But as a startup business, one of the ways you want to grow is you want to keep your inflow, your cash inflow active. Now, you cannot compare, like we said earlier, you don't know what your competitor is doing. You don't know what their business model is or their financial model is and how they fund their business. So you cannot compare yourself or compete in that line. The good thing about businesses and brands is you don't have to copy anyone. As much as looking at your competitor and then using it as a yardstick to help you make decisions in private marketing or brand positioning. While you're doing all that, while you're at that, or trying to look at what you're doing or what you're improving into yours, is you want to be sure that whatever you're trying to do, or while you're getting inspired by what your competitor is doing, one of the things you want to keep in mind is your core value and what your business stands for. You have to make sure that has to guide your own decisions. You don't want to use your competitors' decisions as yours. That is why you cannot give out discounts. And the beautiful thing about businesses and an entrepreneur is your business and your products are unique. Whether you give discounts or not, whether you give credit or not, your customers will still patronize you. The people who know the value of your product or know the value of your company will still patronize you. They will still come to you. So you do not have to give out discount or credit out of pressure or out of competing. You need to have, we already talked about having business policies and all that. So you have to know what guides your business. Can I survive giving out credits? Can I survive giving out this discount? If you cannot survive giving out a discount, you do not have to give out discounts. It just gives you room to improve on your product, improve on your value, work on your values. You will still make sales. You will still have clients, you will still have customers. Do not compare yourself to anyone, to any business. That is one of the things that affects businesses financially and crash businesses. Know your financial capacity and face your financial capacity and work on improving your financial capacity. And this can only be done when you always review your business, always go back to your books, always go back to your accounting, your bank accounts, your cash flow, and then you keep working on it. Improve the value you give your customers. Assure them, make sure you're giving them the original, you're giving them authentic services, you're giving them authentic products, you're true to your word, you're improving on the quality of your product, the presentation of your products, and then having to compete financially with any other business would not be a pressure to you. So on this section for today, I know that the financial topic is something that is extremely huge. We can't finish it in a day because, like I said earlier, as we grow in business, as we grow, as our product increases, as we increase in our capacity, our financial dynamics actually change, because now you're talking about marketing, you're talking about a whole lot of things, a whole lot of structure. But for right now, this is all we're just going to be talking about today. In the next episode, we will be talking about more topics and more decisions, and then more things that we need to do to improve our business, or that can help us or help you as you want to start your business. Thank you.